Hey guys, what's going on? If you're new here, welcome. My name is Brittany Nicole. I have hooded eyes and I tend to do a lot of hooded eyeshadow tutorials here on YouTube. Now, if you're new here, do not let this turn you away. This is definitely not a tutorial I would put out there. What I wanted to do was get ready with all of these products that I'm going to be talking about today, and this is what the outcome was. There's some things I really like, there's some things I really don't like, which is why I'm looking a little rough in some areas today. So if you are from the Chicago or Midwest area, you know that we have had a huge polar vortex going on, and apparently when it's too cold to go outside, I go online and I purchase a bunch of makeup. Again, if you've been with me for a while, you know I'm very much an advocate of shop your stash before adding things that you're never going to use, but I don't know what came over me these last few weeks, but I ended up with a ton of products. Most of them are drugstore. In fact, I think all of them besides the skincare are drugstore, except for one thing, which is the Becca Khloe Malika collection thingy that I picked up here. But I did pick up a lot of hot products that people are talking about, like the L'Oreal concealer that people are saying is a dupe for Shape Tape. No, it's not. And the e.l.f. concealer that people are raving about. It kind of sucks. But anyway, if you are interested in seeing what my thoughts are on a lot of products, go ahead and keep watching. All right, so we have got a lot of product all the way from skincare down to setting spray. So I'm gonna try my very best to blow through these products but give you as much information as I possibly can. So the first thing I picked up from Ulta was the CeraVe Hydrating Facial Cleanser. This is my tried and true. They just started carrying, I think, the value size. I used to have to get this on Amazon. It's only a couple bucks more than the regular size, and this is the best drugstore facial cleanser I think in the world. It cleans really well. It leaves your skin hydrated. If it is cold where you live, try not to use something that's going to strip your skin. You should never really use anything that's going to strip your skin, but this is really hydrating and really cleanses. So I have a whole video on my skincare routine if you want to see that, but this is in it and I love it, especially for winter. The next thing I have is the L to MD Barrier Renewal Complex. I talked about this in my last skincare video as well. Really like this. I like this for winter. It has hyaluronic acid. It has niacinamides. Really good stuff, so I wanted to pick up another one of these. And then for a new product, I picked up the La Roche Posay Anthelios 60. So if you watch the Taylor here on YouTube, she uses this as a moisturizer and SPF. The SPF I currently use is SkinCeuticals Sport UV 50, I think that's what it's called, and it's just a little thick, and when Taylor uses this, her skin looks so beautiful and glowy, and mine currently doesn't do that, so I wanted to give this a try. Used this today and it's beautiful. It really does give you like a dewy look to your skin, so if you're not going to go in with makeup, this is gorgeous, and it has SPF. You need to use SPF every day, even if it's going to be dark every single day. It's so important, and I use retinol, so it's even more important that I go in with an SPF, and I really like this. My makeup layered on it beautifully as well. So really enjoying this, and I'm excited to have this in my collection. Watch her video if you want to know more about this. I'll link it down below. So as far as primers, I have a lot of them. I obviously didn't go in with all of these today because I would be priming way too much, but I have the Revlon Pore Filling Primer. I have the e.l.f. Poreless Putty. I have the Wet n Wild Water Drop Primer in Rose, and then the Wet n Wild Rose Primer Refresher setting spray stuff. So I only went in with the pore filling today. I went in on one side of my face with Revlon and one side with the e.l.f. To be honest, I'm not on the train with this e.l.f. Putty primer. I think most people who are comparing it to Tatcha, which I've never used, and they like that it's only $8. But if you have Revlon or even the Catrice pore filling primer, I think you'll get pretty much the same effect with the e.l.f. I just think that the Revlon is a little more mattifying. So I'm not on this train, but you guys will have to let me know what you think. I think if you already have something that you love, this isn't going to do crazy things for you. I did swatch the Wet n Wild on the back of my hand, and it felt very nice, hydrating. It was almost cooling, so I'm excited to give this a try under my makeup. I don't love all of Wet n Wild's base products. I usually don't like any of them. Definitely has a rose scent, so if you're turned off by that, you probably won't like that, but I can't give my thoughts on this yet because I haven't quite used it. But I did use the Rose setting spray. I didn't use it as a primer because, again, I went in with the e.l.f. and the Revlon, but this also has a very strong rose smelling spray. I've had rose like water sprays before, and those are definitely not as scented as this, but it was nice. Again, it didn't do anything revolutionary. I do like my Scandinavia a little bit more, but this is way more affordable, and it has a nice little kind of mister. It's not as fine as like the flower setting spray, but it is pretty fine for a drugstore setting spray, and now everything smells like roses. So they must have come out with like a new collection, because those primers were in a little spot in my Walgreens, as well as the new bronzer and then their highlight. So I love the Wet n Wild bronzers. I have a video on that Dragon collection. These are almost double the size. The size of the other bronzers in the Dragon collection were 4.5 grams, and this is 11, so that's actually more than double the size. But this was the only matte one. I picked up the shade Sunset Striptease, and I went in with that on this side of my face. I also have blush on, which I'm going to talk about, but this is, in my opinion, a little bit more of a red undertone type of bronzer. Very pretty, very natural, blended out really well. So if you run into these at your drugstore, pick them up. I don't think you'll be disappointed. The other two shades that I saw, it looked like they were way too shimmery for me. So this is the matte one, and I would recommend that if you were going to go in and get one of their bronzers. If you like matte bronzers, obviously. If you're a shimmery bronzer person, get the shimmery shade. So also on this side of my face, I picked up a couple more of the Milani powder blushes. If you guys have been watching my videos for a while, I got a sample of the Romantic Rose powder blush, and I loved it, and these do not disappoint. I have Blossomtime Rose on this side of my face, which just looks stunning. These blend so beautifully. I like these more than their baked blushes because they're not as shimmery. This does have a little sheen to it, which is just gorgeous. I don't think Romantic Rose does. That's more of a matte one, but I think that the Blossomtime Rose does have a little bit of a sheen to it. I'm excited to try Tea Rose, but these are so good, and it was buy one get one half off at Walgreens, and I think I'm going to be using these like non-stop for at least the next few months. Highly, highly recommend those if you're in the market for a new blush. And then the highlight that I picked up is the I'm So Lit. So they came out with these loose highlighters. It's a loose highlighter. Let me just show you. Looks like that. So the only downside is these get really messy really fast, which I don't like. So I do have it on this side of my face, which you can see right there. Now it does have some glitter in it, so if you're not a glittery highlight person, I don't think you'll love this. If I was to go in with it again, I'd probably just go on like the tippy top of my cheekbone or something like that, just to add a little extra pop, because I think it's a little too glittery, and it does kind of emphasize texture if you have texture, so be wary of that. But their loose formulas are really pretty. I can like feel my lips gathering more product in there as I talk, so sorry about that. That's probably disturbing to look at. But the next thing I want to talk about is the Becca, Khloe, and Malika collection. I picked up the Khloe palette. I kept going back and forth between this and the Malika palette, but I am so happy I picked this up. So I've always been intrigued by the Hourglass products, but they are just way too expensive for me, and every time I go in and swatch them, they seem a little too glittery, so I never end up, you know, pulling the trigger on that. But I am so happy I picked this up. This is only $44. I have this on this side of my face today, so you can see the sheen on the side of my cheek, and that is a mixture of the blush. Just going in with the blush, I went in with this shade to start. Gives you such a beautiful shine on your cheek. Looks so healthy. I can't wait to use this all over my face. This is by far the best thing I think I picked up in this whole collection, and it's the only like high-end thing, which is really not like me because I'm such a drugstore girl. But I have the highlight on as well, which is stunning, and the bronzer. So the bronzer in this is a lot more peachy. Hopefully you could see that on camera, whereas the Wet n Wild was a little more red toned, but this is just stunning, and I think this will work when I'm a little self-tanned as well. I was thinking, should I get both, like the Malika palette for when I'm self-tanned, but I think this is gonna be the way to go for me. So I highly recommend this. If you guys can check it out, I absolutely love it. And it's like the perfect size, even for travel. I love this so far. So shadows. I did not have any luck with shadows that I picked up. So I picked up two of the Wet n Wild cream shadows that they launched in their whole like Wet n Wild workout collection, which I just think is ridiculous. If you're gonna go to the gym, like, I just recommend not wearing makeup. It's so bad for your skin, but if you have to, I would go in with like a cleaner product than something like Wet n Wild. It's funny, they have like a liquid foundation that they released, and I know some people just want to have a little something when they go to the gym, but like I said, just get something a little bit better with higher quality ingredients than Wet n Wild if you're gonna do that. But I picked up their Keep Going Wet n Wild Sweat Proof and Waterproof Shadow. I have them on my eyes right now. Ignore this liner. I know it looks like horrible, but I have it on my eyes and they went on really nice. They're pigmented. I picked up 2 shades. One's called Protein Shake, that's the darker shade, and the other one is called Running Naked. I'm just gonna show you, like, they're very pigmented, so hopefully you could see obviously the darker shade, and right next to it is a little bit more of a lighter shade that's Running Naked. I like them, but they're too difficult to work with for me to grab again. I don't think there's enough play time with them. And then once you start kind of blending it out with a blending brush, the dark shade kind of started to disappear, so you can barely see it on my eyes right now. It's just not something I would find myself grabbing for. I think that powder shadows are a lot easier, and I do not think these would be sweat proof or waterproof given the fact that my eyes started watering when I applied it, and it was off of my eye. So don't recommend those. I think something like a cream shadow from e.l.f. that I just talked about, or like the Laura Mercier shadow sticks or caviar sticks, whatever they're called, would be a lot better than that. Speaking of cream shadows, I picked up more of the ColourPop Super Shot shadows. I have a video on this. I love these. I want them to come out with a Vault collection releasing all of these because I would buy it in a heartbeat. So that's Lightning Bug, which is just 1 shade that I picked up. I also picked up Set to the Sun, which is a little bit more of a pink shade, and then Millionaire, which is kind of like a brown dark penny shade. But I love these. They are the only thing that work for me when I want like a cream shimmery, like in your face shadow that doesn't have fallout. The Essence works really well for me as well, but if I had to pick one, I'd go in with ColourPop because I really like these. So that's nothing new. I just wanted to add to my collection with those. In addition to that, I picked up, have I not talked about the concealer yet? Oh my gosh, I'll get back to that. I'm trying to go in the order, but I picked up 2 new eye products. So I picked up the Jordana black leather liner. Now this has a very, very fine point tip, and I don't like it. I kind of just wanted to try to see if I could make this work, but I could not. I much prefer my gel liner and my Sigma E06. I have hooded eyes, so I try to get the skinniest possible applicator, but this was just too difficult to work with. I couldn't get a sharp wing. It was just way, way too difficult, and it's shiny. So if you're used to using a really, really fine tip, and I think this is a brush tip, I'm used to more of a felt tip, and if you like a more shiny liner, you might like this. This was really affordable at Walgreens because it's Jordana, but I just don't recommend it. I might use it to kind of darken the lash line before I apply lashes going forward, but I definitely won't be using that on my eyes again. And then I picked up the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. This has been everywhere in every drugstore I went in. So this is kind of a dupe kind of brush for the Too Faced Better Than Sex and the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, and I actually really enjoyed this. It's very black for a drugstore liner, and I was able to coat my bottom lashes and they separated really well and they didn't look spidery, so I'm definitely going to be grabbing for this again. Typically I don't like a mascara for like a week or so when the oxygen hits it, but I liked this right away, so go pick this up. I think there's like a $3 off coupon at Walgreens right now too, so really, really happy about that purchase. Now let's talk about this concealer. I picked up the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear in Vanilla, and I picked up the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer in Light Beige. I do not like either one of these. They look like horrible under my eyes, like point blank horrible from the moment I applied it. I didn't set my under eyes, and I always set my under eyes. That's how dry these looked. I would be embarrassed to go outside like this, to be honest. Let me get a little closer so you could see. The texture under my eyes is so emphasized. Now I know I have some black eyeshadow fallout. That's a whole nother issue I was dealing with today, but it just looks horrible. Point blank horrible. I wouldn't recommend it. Even if you like Shape Tape, I don't think the coverage is there. I think Shape Tape has way better coverage. When I went in with the L'Oreal, I just dab, dab, dab and blend. I barely went in with any at all because I'm not like somebody who goes in with like a triangle under my eyes. I couldn't get it to build up in the inner corner, so I went in with another dab and it started to take coverage away and then immediately looked dry. Kind of the same deal with e.l.f. There's more coverage, I think, in the e.l.f. and I was able to kind of work with it a little bit better, but immediately looked so dry and cracky, and the fine lines under my eyes look horrible right now. So I do not recommend either of those. Do not waste your money. Go get the Milani 2-in-1 concealer. A much prettier finish than both of those, for sure. Couple more things here. So I picked up the Catrice Volumizing Lip Balm. I really like Catrice products. I have lipstick from them. It's called, I think, Coffee and Cream. That's like one of my favorite lipsticks. It's super pretty, so I just wanted to pick this up. So this definitely has a little bit of a tingle to it and just wears really, really, really pretty on the lips. It's definitely more of like a lip balm with just a tiny bit of color. I'm just gonna swatch it so you guys can see on the back of my hand. It's barely there, but really pretty. So I'm gonna be wearing this on natural days for sure, where I don't wanna go in with a full pigment and like commit to having to like reapply. This would reapply beautifully and fade really nicely and keep the lips nice and hydrated. So excited about that purchase. And then I picked up the Jordana Pigment Shine Liquid Lip Color. This is in the shade At First Blush. As you can see, I'm getting that kind of buttholey lip, which isn't pretty. And this is not pigmented enough to wear on its own, so it looks like it on the back of my hand, and the color is really pretty, but when I go in on my lips, I definitely need to put something under it. So I don't know how much I'll be grabbing for this. Maybe if I want a little bit of shine after I go in with like a matte lipstick, I can see myself grabbing for it. But the applicator is really cool. It kind of holds the product in the middle and hugs the lips as you apply it, so it feels really good going on, but I don't think this is one you need. I think that if you have like the NYX Butter Gloss, you'd be absolutely fine with that. You don't need to buy another one. I love the Jordana lip liners. Those are my favorite, but I don't love any of their actual lip products. So maybe I should just stop buying their lip products. And finally, the last things I picked up, some new lashes. I am on the hunt for some really, really good lashes. Like I said in my last video, I really do like the Kiss Corset lashes. Those are beautiful, and I think they work really well on my hooded eyes because they're a little longer in the middle, but I want to try some new things. So I picked up the Eyelure Nicole Guerriero in the style 143. That's what I have on right now. They're pretty, but they definitely look fake. So I think this is for more of a like full on kind of makeup look, which I don't have going on right now. I think it makes my eyes look really open like a doll. When I put them on, I was like, whoa, my eyes look huge, but now I'm just looking at them thinking they look kind of fake. So I really did like how they sat on my eyes though. All I had to do was plop them on, and because they're so angled, they fit my eye shape perfectly. So I'm gonna try to find a couple more of these in a different style and see if that works, because the hardest part for me with lashes is finding something that kind of contours to my eye and looks good, and I don't have to like, you know what I mean, when you like plop a lash on and it like flicks up in one area because it doesn't shape to your eye. Like I have that problem all the time. So I'm gonna explore a couple more of the Eyelure lashes, but I also picked up the Kiss Lash Couture in the style Lacy. That is what they look like, and typically, like I said, I'm not somebody who loves like a cat eye shape, but I'm thinking I'm gonna cut down the lash, of course, because they're going to be too long, and then I'm going to try to cut down the height of the outer corner as well. So I'll let you know how that goes, but I've never tried the Kiss Naked Drama Collection, and Kiss are like my favorite lashes. I love their little lash, like the trios. Those are my ultimate favorite and the best if you're a beginner. I have a whole video on that as well. So wanted to give these a shot, but that is it for this one. So looks like I've been talking for about 26 minutes, so hopefully I can edit this down to be below 20, but I hope this video is helpful for you if you were thinking about trying some of these products. I tried to pick up a lot of things that are kind of current and a lot of people are talking about, so if you have any questions at all, please let me know below. I love to hang out with you guys in the comment section, and I try to respond to each and every one of your comments. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps me a lot, and if you're interested in seeing any more videos from me, please subscribe. It means the absolute world to me, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.